We just want to say hello. We are really thrilled to be here. We just want to start with a fun game to get to know you and especially to learn your names. You'll learn our names. And we are movement-based performance artists. We are dancers. So we work with our medium is our physicality and our bodies. We're going to start with our names. And we're just going to each do one movement with the syllables of our names.
I think my movement. Okay, well, my name is Shay, and the movement, I guess, that represents me best would be this.
Great. Okay, so wonderful. Thank you. We are all going to do this. We're going to say Shay, and we're going to do the same movement. So here we go. Ready? Shay. Yes. Okay, one more time. Ready? And Shay. Okay. Ellen. Aru. Gerald. Mr. Block. We designed this residency so that we would gradually, but in a short period of time, introduce the students to the tools of making a performance work on site and having them actually be in that experience, have that experience, and perform at the end. We start with an introduction about the company and the work we've done, and introduce the idea of site-specific performance and dance, and it's totally foreign to them. They just, you know, it's a different language. It's Greek, or you know, they really do not have a frame of reference for it. So we share videos of our work, we talk about it, and just give them that introduction, and as soon as possible get them experiencing it. Different than a lot of dance companies who perform in the theater, where you have the stage and then the stage lights and the audience stays in one place and the dancers are on this side, two sides. I am very inspired by working on location and working with a specific site or a place and using the architecture and using the object and even the movement of people as part of the dance. That's the core of what we want to share with you, is what it is to work, to create a performance outside or in a building, but not in the theater. We will be sharing with you all the elements, and tomorrow giving you all the elements of what goes into making a site-specific performance. And you will be jumping into the creative process. We wanted to do this intro workshop here mostly because of the scale. It's just so big. It's also unusual. It's not a place where you may have been before. This is the 1st Troop Cavalry of Philadelphia. We do a workshop with all the people who are participating in the residency, all the students, that does 3 things. It gives them a chance to experience movement, just basically working with their bodies. Some of them that's new too. Other students have danced, but many of the students have never danced before, or done sports for that matter. Then we introduce the idea of improvisation and not knowing, and that's okay. And then we give them the skills of creating a site work, which has very specific elements. We broke them down so that they're working with the location, movement, and sound. Mr. Block's going to put you in groups of about 4, 5, 6 people. Once it's identified your group, you'll get together, you'll teach each other the movement and the sound at the location where you created it. And so all 4 will learn all 4.
What they were using the stairs to read.
I see. So like where we're going to decide. And then you also know and on the way there we talk about tempo, we talk about space, we do some exercises that tunes them into decision making of transitions and timing, and if we have time, which we don't always, it's beginning, middle, end. It's a lot to throw at them, but at least how are you starting, how are you ending? And they literally create a site-specific performance that then they show the rest of their classmates at the end of the 2 hours. And they make these great pieces in a very short time. One of the goals of this project is to have the students really take ownership of their creative process. So it really becomes we give them the tools, it becomes their piece, their decisions, their choices. So the next step after the workshop is they go on their own, in their groups, to choose what site they will be spending the next week and a half making a performance.
We chose the site because we thought that it was interesting to see how there were a lot of different levels and to see the audience's perspective compared to where we were standing.
Once the students have picked their sites, they've had a chance to work on site, develop some ideas, we have another workshop with the whole class together. We talk a lot about interaction. How do you interact with each other? We do a trust exercise. We also talk about choices, especially in how you create the beginning and the end of your dance.
This is a really fun thing. I never expected it to actually be this fun. I've always thought it was kind of weird that people just randomly do this. It's like a flash mob, but the cool kind. It was very interesting at first. We didn't know what to do, and it took us a long time to get as far as we gotten.
This is how we got creative. All right, so the story was that Nick was sitting down, and then we asked him to do a motion, and then he was like, what? I'm doing a motion, and it wasn't really anything he was doing. And then so we told him that we were going to stand him in front of the audience and make him look like a bird or a chicken, and made him flap wings, and then he actually flew away. So our mistakes helped us create this piece.
I've never really used these skills before, ever. I've never had to look at a space and see how I could interpret it through my body and other people's bodies.
It allowed everyone to be a part of it, and like you didn't have to have like a certain skill level or like a certain asset in order to do stuff.
Throughout the 2 weeks that we worked together, it's so clear the why and the how becomes very clear, but the fact that there will be a public performance piece where they'll have a large audience from the school and from outside of the school, and it adds incredible meaning to it for them.
This is my first time ever seeing anything like this, and I didn't know if I could do it because I'm really shy. I'm not open at all, and I didn't think I can do this because this is like putting yourself out there to be judged, and I don't like doing that. But like when we did the first workshop, it wasn't that hard. It actually was pretty fun, and now it's like I don't mind putting myself out there because I worked really hard on this piece, and I want everyone to see it.
I don't know how we came up with it. We were just standing there and like a custodian was sweeping, and we're like, oh, we can incorporate that because like it's something that happens there like all the time because he's always sweeping. So we just wanted to incorporate like everyday life and stuff, and also gives like noise for the audience to follow.
Since we had a lot more places to work with, it just became like a great experience for me to be learning and to experience, and I feel very grateful.
At first when we got this project, I was really kind of like negative towards it because I've never really danced before or wanted to dance before. But as time went on, I kind of actually started to enjoy it, just being outside and like collaborating and making up our own dance steps and just doing something different with a school project. Like, I don't think I've ever had one school project where they're like, go outside, find a spot, and dance.
To the right.